They released a lot here of what's happening in the next sort of couple of weeks. This is just my plan and what I intend to do at the start of it, and a little bit of prep work that I intend to do just to make my life hopefully easier when some of the other events drop as well. Okay, thanks very much for your time. I'll see you in the video. Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical, this is Mystical Gaming. We're back into Watcher of Realms and there's a lot coming up, so I thought I'd just take a couple of minutes just to go over everything that's coming up and my interpretation of it and where I'm going with it. You can make your own judgments from it. So this is the first thing that's coming up, Thistle's Whisper, and it's a time limited summon for Dahlia. So it's 250 summons and you can get this champion. It's a limited summon, so generally that's the only time she's going to be available, so I will be summoning for her. I'm only a little bit short of having enough diamonds and summoning crystals, so I have to make up the difference somewhere else, but there's enough crystals and things coming out of diamonds, I would imagine, over the course of the events. And also you can always, when you're summoning and doing this many summons, you can dismiss your rares, so the rares can go back and be dismissed for diamonds, and those diamonds can be added in and you can re-summon with them. So at 250 summons, you only actually need about 215 available summons at the time or at the point of summoning. On average, that may not work out for everyone, this is average, you can get enough rares to dismiss them and get enough diamonds, and then those diamonds go back in and then you can use those diamonds for more summons. So essentially you need enough for about 215 summons, and then the average of the rares you get in dismiss and back to diamonds and so on and so forth will give you enough for 250 actual summons. So bear that in mind. You don't need 500, you probably need about 430 available summons, so that's a little bit better, and then the game will probably give you some as the events go on. So that's a first thing to be aware of over the coming sort of week or so. So that's the first limited fusion available. Now during the anniversary, first limited summon available. The next one is available shortly afterwards. I'll say shortly. So Dahlia's available on the 12th, and then on the 27th, so just over 2 weeks later, Anora is available as a limited fusion, or limited summon as well. So again, I assume, there's nothing written there, so I'm assuming it's going to be 250 summons for her again. Now they could change it, who knows? But my assumption at the moment is just over 2 weeks later, 2 weeks and 1 day after Dahlia, Anora is going to be available for another summon as well. Now the only place to get these normally for limited summons is during the limited summon event, so that's why I'm going for them both, and if I get them, brilliant, and if I don't, oh well, it doesn't really matter. I'm sure I'll pull something nice in while I go along for it. Now Helga, she is available as a shard summon event. Now the shard summon event will be available at the same time as Anora is available, and generally at the start of a shard summon event there is normally a summoning thing going on to get points for the shards, so that'll be available as well. But before we get that, this is the interesting one. Myca, she's available from the 18th of this month. She's available soon. This time next week she's going to be available. Now it's a hero fusion, not a shard summon, a hero fusion. So when we have a look at a fusion, this is how a fusion looks. So we have the champion we want, and then we have 4 champions underneath them generally, and we make up those champions, and then once we've made them up, we then go and fuse them into the champion you want. So we've all done these things before, well most of us have done these things before with the likes of Abomination, and previously on previous events there was Kodor as well. Now he was available. Now he took a lot of resources. It was 4 rares to make, it was 16 rares to make up 4 epics, to fuse those 4 epics into the legendary. Now there was a lot of events here to get through, and it was just over 2 weeks, the event. So there isn't enough time between Mike being available and the Shard Summon event coming. There's only 9 days between them. So I don't think the event is going to be as long as or as in depth as a Hodor fusion. Now I'm assuming it's half the time, there's half the amount of work to do, is my guess. So maybe it would just be 4 epics available, and those 4 epics go straight into fusing her, because we only have 9 days available before the Shard Summon event starts, and one would have to end before the next one starts, so it's probably just about a week-long event, which does make this interesting. They haven't released anything for it yet, and of all the videos I haven't seen anyone saying there's a new epic out, which would make more sense. So with regards to there not being an epic out, it sort of leaves you a bit up in the air as to what to do. Now I do know some things about fusions, you do need to fuse them up past it. So I'm assuming for her we will need 4 epics. Those 4 epics will have to take to 40, we then have to star them up, we will then have to promote them all the way up to 5-star and make them 50, with all promotions that go with it. So that side of things I can do beforehand. So to do that, I know I will need certain things to achieve it. So to start with, I will need enough 4-star food to rate up my 4 epics to 5-star. So I can do that already, and it's no great shakes if that's not the case, because it doesn't really matter. If it's not the case, then I will still use those food on something else. So it's not as if they're going to waste, it's just something I can do beforehand. So that's going to cost me 350, so it's going to cost me the best part of 560,000 just to do the food for the 4 stars that I need. Now on top of that, I also know that it's going to cost me some more XP just to get the epics that I get, to make them 40, and then once I've started them up, to make them from 40 to 50. So we already know how much that costs, and that to do the 4 epics is going to cost me 1 million XP. So between now and the start of next week, I need to fix in some time where I can go along and do the XP raid, so I can actually get enough XP to do it. Now because they haven't released the fusion plan yet, and tomorrow could be the first time that you start summoning, we don't know if they're going to release a new epic to go with the fusion, or whether they're going to use epics that are already in the game. So if you're summoning on the Thistle's Whisper, then I would make sure that you keep all of your epics, and then that way if they're using in-use epics or epics that are already in the game to level up, then you've already got them. I don't know if that is the case, I just think as a safety case it is worth just preparing yourself to think, well actually maybe I'll keep the epics in case it is. Now before you go anywhere you do need... Now the other thing to be aware of when you're summoning is you're going to have a look at your pity. So have a look at your summoning record and see where you are against the pity timer. The pity would be 220 summons, that would guarantee you a legendary. So there's the last champion I pulled, it was Silas, call that 10, 20, 30. I am 40 into pity, that means I have another 180 summons to do before I'm guaranteed to get a legendary against the pity timer. Now, this is important. Why is that? Now, it's 250 summons you do to get the champion. Now, if I pull around 180 is all I need to guarantee myself a pull, if I pull about 160 summons in there, my summoning chances of a legendary start to go up. I'm going to stop at 160. I will then pull probably on the following banner that starts on the Friday and see if I get one of the nice legendaries out of that for my pity. I would then go back to Dahlia banner and finish off there with the last couple of summons to claim her. I wouldn't use my pity on that banner if I don't have to. I would use it on the other one. So that's something I intend to do. Whether you do that or not, entirely up to you, but that's my first initial thoughts at the moment. So tomorrow I'll probably summon 160 on there and whatever it is on my other account, the Forerunner account, and seeing how well I do against that. Now there is a chance I pick her up long before I hit the 160 before I swap over to the other banner. I mean, I might pick her up on Summon 1, you never know our luck, so that's always a possibility for us. And then after we've done that, I want to be aware that the next one is available. Now with regards to Myca, she is a fusion event, so once I've got that fusion done and I've got my epics available for her, and whenever that drops we can work on getting her, we get her out of the way before we start going into the Shard Summon event. The Shard Summon event, that's where you pick up the fragments of the shards and then you boost them all together and hit the summon button. Now they're generally much easier, I feel, than the fusion events. Now the legendary ones are normally a bit harder than the epic ones, but they're not normally that hard on this game. They're normally pretty good and you can do them with relatively minimal effort. I don't think you need to smash too much in. The thing is, normally when they start there is normally an Awakened Heroes, a Spiritual Altar event that kicks them off, and on that you'll then want to be summoning for the other limited banner anyway, so bear that in mind. You might want to summon at the same time, which will tie in quite well when you're doing it if you're summoning on both banners. So that's about me done here. So tomorrow what I plan to do is start doing the Witch's Call event, seeing how we can do and get across and getting as much of that done as we can. Do the 160 summons on both accounts because I need to do them and look at where the pity is on the other account. And then if I get her early, brilliant. If I don't, hold on for the weekend to do the other banner and then claim my pity on the other banner, then back to that one, and then prep everything for the fusion. So prepping for the fusion, I've already got my 16 4-star foods done up. So the only thing I don't know about the fusion is what the epics are, which means I don't know which insignias to get. So you'll probably need, I think it's 82 legendary insignias per epic, but as I don't know what they are, I'm not going to farm them up. But extracts, you will need 2 per epic, so you will probably need 8 extracts in total, so make sure you've got those. And then any insignias that I see lying around somewhere, I will pick those up. So from the Dwarven Association, that sort of thing, when you're in there doing your shopping, I would quickly go and pick some up. So I've already got a fair amount of rare and epic ones anyway. But the legendary ones I will farm up closer to the time when they release what's actually happening for us for that event. So there we go. There's the Dwarven Association. They can appear in there. I would pick up the rare and epic ones. I wouldn't spend diamonds on them, but I would grab them for gold. So thank you very much for your time. I hope this has been helpful. I'm looking forward to the event. I hope you are too. And I'll see you all again probably tomorrow with a bunch of videos and summoning and all sorts of crazy stuff. If you could leave a thumbs up, likes and subscribe, that would help me out massively. And until then, happy gaming. Cheers for your time. Goodbye.